First thing to notice about number one is that we're asked to find how much interest is earned when your money is earning simple interest. And remember, simple interest is when you're earning the same amount of money every year. So first, if we want to know how much interest is earned in 40 years, we first need to find out how much interest is earned in 1 year, and then we'll multiply that by 40. And since the account is earning 10% interest, we take 10% of $1,000, and that's $100, and multiply that by 40, we get $4,000 for that first part. Then for the second part, we're asked to find the total amount when that's left in the account. So you take that initial investment of $1,000, add in the $4,000 interest that's been earned over 40 years, and you get $5,000 total. And then last, we are asked to graph this. When you graph this, we're going to use a vertical axis for the amount, and we're going to use time for the horizontal axis. So there are two specific points that we've already calculated that we can use on this graph. First is when t equals 0, that's just your initial amount, your initial investment. That was $1,000. So we can put a point at t equals 0 and a equals 1,000. And then we also know that when t equals 40, the account will have $5,000 in it. So we can plot a point at 40, 5,000. And so when we scale the axes, we'll scale the a-axis up to 5,000 and the t-axis out to 40 years. And when you plot those 2 points, since we know that with simple interest we're earning the same amount of money each year, that means that this graph is just going to be a straight line. This is an example of a linear model where your graph is a linear equation. And in fact, we can write out the equation for it. And I'll be doing that here in a minute in the video. So this is what the graph looks like. To think about the equation that we're using, we're calculating the amount A, and we're starting out with some initial investment. I'll call it P. It's $1,000 in this case. And then we're adding to P the interest. And to calculate the interest, we took the initial amount P times the rate R times the rate T times the time T. T is the variable here. The highest power is 1, so we know it's a linear equation.